Out of all the games in the Kingdom Hearts franchise, Kingdom Hearts has one of the simplest narratives of them all. Sora, Riku, and Kairi grew up on a small chain of islands called Destiny Islands. Riku was manipulated by the ghost of a long-dead man into embracing the darkness dwelling inside of him. Because of this, our hero Sora is forced to travel across the shattered Disney multiverse in order to save the remaining worlds from fading into darkness. It's a simple and clean way to combine two franchises that should have never been compatible. The unwavering copyright-locked Disney and the fluid and inconsistent canon of Final Fantasy. Somehow, these two disparate elements merged into a perfect narrative. The villains and themes of Disney are broken down into their base elements: darkness versus light, kingdoms and magic, princesses and hearts, and dissolved into a simple concept. Every being alive has a heart. When that heart is filled with darkness, they become a heartless monster. Final Fantasy has always been about living worlds. Nature and magic are interwoven. The world is a living, breathing thing that can be corrupted and destroyed. So when this concept is simplified, it's up to Sora to prevent this horror from spreading. Every Disney movie is its own separate universe, a world floating in a shattered space. They were all once part of a big shared public domain universe. When the worlds were young, when there were only fairy tales, they were all together. But one day, the worlds were shattered, probably by Disney's lust for copyright. They were locked into various worlds, separate franchises with their own canon, their own copyright, their own internal time continuity. These worlds could never touch, but Sora wasn't from those worlds. Sora was from a world very similar to Final Fantasy X, a world of water and islands. The children he plays with are from various Final Fantasies. He and his friends lived on the mainland with their parents. They and the other kids would take rowboats to an abandoned island nearby, a magical place with a mysterious cave, hand-built rickety shacks, and even freshwater ponds. They explored, raced, and fought with wooden swords. It was a magical summer oasis, straight from the id of your childhood self. But Riku always wanted more. He hated being stuck on that island. He wanted the power to protect his friends. He wanted to love himself, to embrace who he really was. But he was always jealous of Sora. On the surface, he was always better than him, but he was never just happy being himself. Sora was like a bright light, but Riku always seemed different, like he didn't belong on the island. He always wanted to leave. So when a strange ghostly figure in a brown robe whispered into his ear, he opened the door to darkness, and the world was gone. At the same time, Kairi was the opposite. She never wanted to leave the islands. After her and her grandmother arrived during a meteor shower, she never wanted to leave. She just wanted to be with Sora and her friends. So when Riku got the idea to run away, and Sora was all for it, Kairi was kind of forced to come with. When Kairi was very young, a woman named Aqua cast a spell on her. If her heart was ever in danger, it would leave her body and fly into someone nearby. And that's where she ended up, locked in Sora's heart, trapped with another spirit. Hoping that Sora would hear her, reaching out. He would see flashes of her. She would speak to him, like she was with him on the adventure, watching the story unfold from inside his body. Sora tried his best to grab hold of Kairi and Riku, but they both faded away. He was lost, banished to the world where all travelers meet, Traverse Town, a world between worlds, a spot where anyone who survived the darkness appeared. And in this town, Sora learned the truth. The sword that chose him was the Keyblade, a magical sword crafted from Riku's heart. His inner light manifested. Riku passed him the power as the darkness corrupted him. He learned about the heartless, lost souls that wandered the cosmos in search of the heart of all worlds. If they could open these locks, these keyholes on each world, they could devour the world from the inside. Sora's job was to take the mantle of the Keybearer, an ancient society of fighters who used the light in their hearts to defeat darkness. They had faded into legend, and now people only thought there was supposed to be one Keyblade. The Keyblade masters of old became nothing more than a single fairy tale hero, the memory of them lost to time. But with the help of his two friends, Donald and Goofy, Sora traveled the worlds on their customizable spaceship, searching for his friends and locking the worlds shut. Each world had a different lesson. a wonderland that showed how darkness can corrupt, that there is a group of villains working behind the scenes to steal the 7 princesses of heart, a deep jungle where after the group crash, Donald and Sora learn to work together instead of constantly butting heads, an Olympic Coliseum where Sora learns the true meaning of heroism, where he can gain strength over time, a city called Agrabah where Sora learns about love and selfless sacrifice. So many worlds across this shattered space. His ship gets eaten by a great whale called Monstro, where Sora learns just how far Riku has fallen. His jealousy and his need to prove his worth, causing him to sacrifice an innocent life just to save Kairi. He's willing to just throw Pinocchio away, to use him to save Kairi. But Sora knows that this is wrong, that Riku's on the wrong side. He goes to Halloween Town, he goes to Atlantis, he hangs out with Winnie the Pooh in his shattered book, he fights his own shadow on a pirate ship with Peter Pan, and he learns that Kairi's heart is missing. He learns to fly and he finds where Riku has been hiding, an ancient castle frozen in the ice, where the evil witch Maleficent gathered the League of Disney villains. Here, Sora's friends abandoned him. The Keyblade left him and returned to Riku. 5 minutes later, they changed their minds. Because Donald and Goofy turned on Riku so fast, Sora never really learned his lesson. He did learn that his friends are his power, but he didn't learn that even when he's alone, he has value. Ventus understood that. He used to say, "My friends are my power and I'm theirs." But Sora didn't. Sora missed that last sentence. When they reached the top of the castle, Sora learned the truth. Kairi's heart was with him all along, hiding away. He stabbed himself. His heart was filled with darkness. He became the very monster he fought. But Kairi's light was so bright. She purged the evil from his heart. With Kairi and his friends by his side, Sora confronted Riku at the end of the world. His body had been completely stolen by the ghost whispering in his ear. The man who created all these horrific monsters. The man who stole the journal you've been reading from the very beginning. Ansem, the Seeker of Darkness. Riku fought back as hard as he could, but Ansem was too strong. Sora learned that the kingdom Ansem was searching for wasn't filled with darkness, that behind that door was light, and Ansem's ghost faded away. Because of all this insanity, Riku was trapped in the realm of darkness. Kairi was sent home, and Sora was frolicking in an endless field. Ultimately, Kingdom Hearts is a story about sacrifice, about friends that drift apart, about being there for people close to you, no matter who is whispering in their ear. It's about love and acceptance, about growing up, and above all else, it's a kick-ass game where you can summon Peter Pan to beat the shit out of a cute little darkness monster. Kingdom Hearts is a special game. It takes Disney magic and it repackages it with a Final Fantasy lens. Is it perfect? No, nothing's perfect, but it's so memorable. The mechanics of the gameplay are so well designed. The imagery of the stained glass towers lighting up pure darkness. The sound of strange orchestral club music playing while you explore the inside of your own heart. The ambiguity of whether or not this is all just some dream. It's mesmerizing. The gameplay was ahead of its time, and the way the story continued was fascinating. There has not been a game capable of capturing this specific kind of gameplay. It should almost be its own genre. No one has had the balls to try to recreate it. I've been talking about this game for literal years, and I think it's time to go through all the games one by one and tell you the truth about Kingdom Hearts. Anyway, I'm Aloney the Bard, and that's what I know about that game. Stay tuned for more. Thanks for listening. Bye. Whew, man, this one is a little bit longer. Now that I've talked about almost every single character in this franchise, I thought I'd talk about the actual games. Kingdom Hearts 1 is pretty simple. A ghost possesses your friend, and you gotta find him. And you gotta beat up that ghost. It's pretty cool. I think it's one of the best games I've ever played, and replaying it now on stream for the last 4 days has been incredible. I am kicking the shit out of these games. I've been playing them on the hardest mode until I beat every single one. And after having played it last year, I have gotten so much better at it. I've really grown to appreciate just how deep Kingdom Hearts is gameplay-wise. How it evolves over time, and how you really have to master it. On the surface, people always treat it like it's this hack and slash press A to win game for kids, where you just keep hitting A over and over again until the game ends, and it's just Disney bullshit the whole time. And it's not. There's so much depth and complexity to the specific moves and attacks, to the flow of combat, down to the point where the decision you make at the beginning of the game of whether or not to have a shield, sword, or staff and throw one away changes the way your abilities are learned. It changes the order in which powers are given to you. The order in which you get abilities will literally change the way you play that game. So I've been streaming this game for the last 4 days straight. I just finished streaming it right before this. I'm halfway through Kingdom Hearts 1. By the time you see this video, I might already be halfway through Chain of Memory. I'm kind of breaking through one a week usually. These videos are probably going to come out in the middle of the game for me. So if you ever want to drop by, say hi, tell me how wrong my theories are, or watch me do this incredibly weird Kingdom Hearts commentary I'm doing, where I play the game and I bring up a bunch of side stuff, and then we ramble inconsistently, and I fight a boss for 45 minutes, and then suddenly start talking about anime for an hour and a half. It's a weird show, but I'm having a blast doing it, and I thought I'd say that. If you want to check out the stream, here's a VOD of my first stream for the marathon, and here's a video about Kingdom Hearts that you might like. I'm gonna let YouTube recommend a video to you this time. Anyway, I've been having a blast. I'll see you guys next week, or I'll see you on the stream. Bye.